fair. It can't be. Here's the problem. The word fair doesn't mean justice or equity or indeed anything very specific. Instead, it's become a sort of all-purpose statement of moral superiority. Superiority tinged paradoxically with victimhood. Now, fairness does have an exact meaning in certain contexts. For example, if we're playing a game, fairness means that the rules should be applied impartially. When we're kids, and our parents and teachers set the rules, the word still has that essential meaning. It's a young person's way of demanding what we might call equality before the law. But as we get older, the word becomes more of a whine. In the mouth of a teenager, trust me on this, it's not fair means, more often than not, you won't let me do something I want. In recent years, though, something odd has happened. Adults have started using the word in much the same way that teenagers do. More than in any previous generation, people today retain their teenage sense of self-centeredness. They use "it's not fair" as a catch-all complaint, as an assertion of wounded entitlement. Look at a Google graph of the use of the word fairness. From around 1965, it looks like the proverbial hockey stick, flat, and then it suddenly shoots up. We've developed a fairness obsession. But what do we mean when we use the word? Do we mean justice? Do we mean equality? Do we mean need? Or do we mean something else? Suppose you and Jane buy a cake together. You pay $6 and Jane pays $4. What would be the fair way to split it up? You could do it on the basis of proportionality. In other words, you get 60% of the cake and Jane gets 40%. Or you could do it on the basis of strict egalitarianism, half each regardless of who paid what. Or you could do it on the basis of wealth. Jane has much less money than you for non-essentials like cake, so maybe she should get the larger share. A case can be made for each approach.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Man Cave. We are Ryan and Corey. You listen to the Much About Nothing podcast, the show where we give expert takes and good-hearted debates. We talk ball and anything and everything else. Today we will be discussing fair. If you got something to say, put it in the comments. If you're new to the pod, greetings. Hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, smash that bell. If you're already part of the fam, welcome back. Please like, share, and comment. Hey, Corey, let's get into it.
Yes. Welcome back. We are back at it again, talking about what is fair. What's your definition? Let us know. Congratulations, Tiff. You are once again the first to enter the chat. Welcome back, Todd Hampton and everybody else. Hey, how you doing, Tawana? How are you doing? Let's get into this. Let's start this thing off. Yes, so we'll start off with the first and foremost question. What is fair? The definition of fair is marked by impartiality and honesty, free from self-interest, prejudice, or favoritism, conforming with the established rules, allowing, why in the world that ain't got no space, allowing consonant with merit or importance due. That is the William Webster's definition. But we want to hear your definition. What is your definition? What is fair to you? Please put it in chat. We want to hear y'all definition of fair. Each and every one of you, what is y'all definition of fair? But starting off with you, Hamp, what's your definition?
I think fair is simply getting what you deserve. Getting what you earned. And fair isn't always a good thing. Sometimes the fair thing to do ain't what you think it is. The fair is getting what you deserve.
Well, let me ask you, think it's possible for everybody in the world to have fairness then? Everybody to get what they deserve? It's possibility for everybody in the world to get what they deserve.
No.
So
absolutely not.
So
yeah, but it brings us to a bigger point, right? So we gave a definition. Why is it important though? Why is fairness, or the concept of fairness, or the pursuit of fairness, why is it important?
I don't think it is. I wouldn't think fairness is important. I don't think fairness is in this world. I don't think fairness is possible. I don't think fairness has ever been. At the end of the day, it's subjective towards the person. Is some certain people get charted treated fair. Some people get treated unfairly. I think life isn't fair. So I think life carries on. I don't think fairness has ever existed throughout life. I think everything is one way or another tilted towards another side. So I don't think fairness is an actual thing. So if life consists of today as we know it and fairness doesn't exist, so I think life will carry on. I don't think it's fair at all. I think through a certain lens a person can see fairness on their side, but I think in actuality somebody else is treated much worse than you. For instance, let's say we're American. Is it fair that we live in America and we weren't born in in some other part of the world where we might be beat or slaves or mistreated or it's a lot of things like it's not fair. I don't think that's fair, and I don't think it's not a single individual in this world that's actually treated fairly. They might be treated favorably, and somebody might be treated unfavorably. So I don't think fairness is a possibility or something that's actual. My definition of it's fair is everybody should. I don't know. I don't think it's possible. I don't think fairness is. I think I would agree. I have to agree with this fair. That's the definition of the word fair. But if
So you don't think it's a real construct?
no, I don't think it's a
You don't
construct.
you don't
That's
think
what
it's a real.
society would see it is, but I don't think it's.
It's not even
I
something
don't
you
think
can
that.
pursue.
I don't think anything is free of self interest, prejudice, favoritism, or. I don't think anything in this world would fit that definition,
Okay,
except death.
that's
Death
the
is
only thing.
fair.
That's the only thing that's fair.
Everybody equally dies.
That's the only thing that's fair.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. And it's not even worth the. Even if it's a utopian word, right? Is that
Yeah.
what it is? A utopian world. Like you never
I
get
think it
there.
exists in like fairy tales and stuff like that. You think can you name something that's free of self interest, prejudice, and favoritism other than
Mm-mm.
death? Death, death. Everybody dies. It doesn't matter what whatever it is. Death is fair. I mean, everybody dies.
Mm. And so you don't think it's even worth pursuing?
Huh?
You don't think it's worth
No,
pursuing?
I didn't say that. I think we should pursue it, but I don't think we can actually reach it. I don't think we can actually get to a point. But at the end of the day, you have to paint a picture for people to have hope. I think hope is necessary. So yeah, you could tell people fairness is a reachable goal and have them chase it because at the end of the day, you want. I keep getting these splitters, man. I had a grand today. All right, yeah, but I don't think it's an actual thing. But I think people, you have to give people a goal, regardless if it's not something that's reachable. You have to set it in front of them. You get what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if people don't have nothing to look forward to or work towards, then it's not really good for society, even though
Mm.
it's not possible.
Mm. So you saying that if fairness wasn't a real thing, the human
Mm.
beings would have to create fairness in
Yeah.
order for us, to even behave as a civilized society.
What Korea uh,
Create the
uh,
concept of it.
the concept of it or a goal of it. So let's say if we were running a race, you put a finish line there and say you're finished, but the race is actually still going. You get what I'm
Oh, so
saying?
it's
You
the
put it as
character.
a,
It's the
you will
character
never.
version.
Let's say if I'm moving it. Let's say if I'm moving it and I keep on going, you're chasing it. You're trying to reach it, but you never actually get to it. You know what I'm saying? If that's a good enough concept, I'm thinking this thing off the
Yeah,
top of the head.
listen.
But yeah, I
I
mean,
get what you said. Like, see, here goes the
I,
thing. I
I
think,
don't think fairness is actually a thing though.
but see, this is how I feel about fairness. I feel like when thing fairness is when things are objective and they're not subjective, right? So let's just use something like I don't know when you went to high school. when you were in school, you take a test, right? You take a test, and the test has answers to it, right? We want that test to be objective. We don't want teachers making decisions on, well, I kind of like this answer, but I don't like that answer. Because at the end of the day, it's a grading scale. And that grading
Mm-hmm.
scale is meant to be objective, not subjective, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if if all the teachers around America said, you know what, we're getting rid of all of this, all the answers will be based off of what I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then now we have academics that don't have to, we have scholars that don't have to really be smart, just somebody had to like their answer. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that fairness is very important. I think it's very important that we do things and we put these things in place so that there's some type of regulation. That's the
I
word.
agree, but do you think it exists? In what aspects do you think it exists? And
It's
what
in the it's in the
actual
pursuit.
it's in the
It's
pursuit of fairness. But you don't think
yeah.
do you think it's actually reachable?
It's like happiness, bro.
So you agree with me.
Yeah,
You
I
agree
think
with
I
me.
think fairness. I think fairness and happiness are
The
they're like
pursuit
two
of
apples.
fairness is
Yeah, you can
I would agree
pursue
with that.
those things, and you can have moments of fairness,
But you
and you
agree
can have
with
moments
everybody?
of unfairness. You can have moments of fairness. You can have
Mhm.
moments of unfairness. But the goal should always be to pursue fairness.
But that's the problem though. So if you're
Okay.
gonna say we're gonna set a goal to for fairness, who do we set that goal to? Because at the end of the day, we're not gonna have fairness. So which way do we lean?
I say it's the pursuit, the same way it
So
happens. You're
we
not
could
gonna
pursue
always
it.
be
You could
happy.
try to be fair. You could try to be fair, knowing that you'll never be fair. So while you're not fair, who gets unequal treatment?
Yeah.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
because like I said, let's use the word happiness, right? Let's put them side by side. Man, I
Mhm.
think you froze, bro. Let's use
Too
happiness
far, bro.
and let's use fairness. All right, we got happiness and we got fairness. All right. Anytime you have to ask that question, if you swap the words out, they're interchangeable, right? Like, why pursue happiness? You will never live a life like you can never live a life where you will always be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes people even confuse. I do know that there's depressive states, but a lot of times is if you really embrace the fact that happiness is a pursuit, is a destination. I mean, it's not a destination; it's the pursuit of it. You never get to happiness, right? Like you'll never get to fairness, but you gotta pursue it, bro. Like you gotta pursue it. Now, some of the topics that I thought that we should talk about. Let's start with the first one. First one, let's go with what does fairness and relationships look like? Whether it's your we'll start low. We'll start with I ain't gonna say low because let's start with friendship. What is fairness and friendship?
Fairness is friendship should be you help me as much as I help you.
Okay.
I would say that. Probably the two people get out the same. And portion of other people. At the end of the day, like friendship should be I get out what I put in, but at the end of the day, we're at different stages. If somebody else is not at the same place, it don't mean you lower your friendship. At the end of the day, I still help you. Yeah, I think it's much different. I think friendship would be fairness in relationship on the side of friendship would be if we what do you think?
Some of it came up jumbled, but some of it came up
Yeah,
jumbled. But I thought,
yeah. I try to lower my settings to see can I get it better, but it seem not to be working. I don't know what's going on. Maybe that cloud coverage or something. Last time it was raining.
it's probably that Canadian smoke, bro.
Yeah,
That Canadian
Canada over
smoke,
there
bro.
just blowing smoke in our face out there.
Yeah, they giving us all the smoke right now. But
Yeah,
I, I guess I guess here on my side, what I think fairness is you should be able to go to the person that expects you to be their go-to person. Like don't make me your go-to person if I can't go to you for certain things. And it don't always have to be. It doesn't have to be financial. It doesn't have to be like it could be anything. Like going like your go-to person. Like don't make somebody your go-to person if they can't go to you. Like and I think that's kind of fair.
Mhm.
Um, I think I think all good friendships are rooted in fairness. To be honest with you,
Mhm.
I think all good friendships are rooted in fairness.
No, I don't
All right,
think
well
that at
let's
all.
okay, because because if it's just one sided, then one side is just being parasitic.
No, I would think at the end of the day, some people are at different levels of life. Like I said, right now, I have friends, good friends, that I could do more for than they could do for me at this constant time. But and at one time, I'm pretty sure in my life, and I keep telling about my past, I wasn't a good friend in my past, but now I am. So they reap the benefits now, but they didn't at the time. So it's not always going to be that way. Somebody might be
Sound
down and
fair to
out.
me though, but it sounds fair to
Huh?
me though.
It
That
sounds
sounds
fair.
fair. You get what I'm saying? It still
What if you
is.
never do? What if you never reap the benefits? What if that person you could never know if I was going to become this person I am today? I could have still been that terrible friend, but you trust in it. But sometimes it's not fair. Sometimes you don't get that. It's a lot of people that trust in people and they never became that friend that they thought they could be. That's not fair.
Well, then
But it
that's not. But then again, so we said that's not a good friend. Like I said, all
uh,
good friendships,
oh, okay,
like
okay.
they're rooted in fairness.
Oh, I thought you said all friendships. I
Now,
apologize. Yes,
all good,
all
all
good friendships. Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah, all good friendships are rooted in an idea of fairness, an
okay.
idea of fairness. Because like I said, if the fairness could come to be later on, yeah, so it would be fair if you get it back. I don't know. That wouldn't be fair if you poured in the whole time. Why you didn't get somebody to pour into you the whole time? It'd be an equal amount, right? That would be
Exactly.
fair. It'll be getting out what you put in at an equal amount. If I poured in the entire time, I was always a good friend to you, and you was only a good friend to me half the time. That's not fair. How is that fair?
I'm, I'm talking about good friendships. There's all types of like it's like if we was to use relationships, like all relationships aren't good relationships. Some relationships are toxic. I was just telling you
Mm,
what a good relationship is.
mm,
A good relationship is rooted in fairness.
mm,
Like there's equity and fairness there. Like even you know what I'm saying. Like even because again, I don't even think about what my friends can do for me, and I don't think none of us even really talk like that or even think like that. But my friends, like I can pick them up and give them a call in the morning, and they pick up. As the same way, if they give me a call, I'm gonna pick up too. You know what I mean? If it's
mm,
something that I need or something that they can help me with, then they will help me. And if it's something I can help them with, I will help them. You know, that is fairness. Um, and like I said, some of the friendships I have, like I wouldn't say that they're good friendships because I know it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? Like those aren't. I mean, because fairness. All right, so moving on. How about how about fairness? Cause we talked about this before, so I'm gonna throw you a curveball here. Fairness with kids.
fairness with kids. Oh nah, kids ain't fair, man. Kids ain't fair. Oh, you saying with both of my kids?
Yeah.
I treat my kids fairly. I'm pretty sure, regardless of anything, I treat my kids very fairly, very fairly. I treat them both the same way. I do. I will say one needs more attention at one time than the other, but I don't have any prejudice towards that one. So whatever ones needs more attention than the other one, that's what decides. It's not so, and that's fair on both sides because the other one needed more attention than the other one. I would show them more attention. So what I'm saying is, whatever one needs the attention the most, I would show that person the attention the most. But it's not prejudice at all. My daughter needed it, my son needed it. At the end of the day, both of them can get it. It's whatever one that needs. I'm not siding on either side, so that would be fair. But do I treat my kids differently? Yeah, but it's not, and the way that I choose it is not unfair. You get what I'm saying? I think everybody treat their kids differently. One's a boy and one's a girl, but that I treat them fairly. What I would say, both of them fairly. Yeah.
That's fair. I know you give me a hard time all the time. You say I'm not fair all the time.
No, you're not. You're not fair. You're not fair at all. You're easier on your daughter than your son. That's not fair. Either you think your son's gonna, and my point is because you either think your son's gonna benefit from you being hard on him, and then you got to understand that your daughter is not benefiting because you're not hard on her, or you think your daughter will benefit because you're not hard on you, and your son's not going to benefit because you're too hard on. At the end of the day, if you think it's okay to be hard on boys and not on girls, and you gonna that's gonna play out in the same way. Nah, I think I treat both of my kids like the same. I don't see it no different. At the end of the day, they both need the same values, and I think that's because I think me and my sister was treated differently. My father was probably I say he more attentive towards, like, he was hard on me. I would say hard. My sister probably wouldn't agree with that. I had to ask, but I definitely think my daddy was hard on me, but my mother was easier. My mother was hard on her, and my daddy was easier on her. But you get two different dynamics with that.
Hmm. Yeah, you know what? When it comes to that, yeah, man, I can tell you this is my thought process. With my son,
Hmm.
my son knows that my expectations are high.
Hmm.
But one thing that I do know, his expectations of me are high also.
Hmm. You think that's fair for your daughter to not receive high expectations? Your
No,
expectations not high
no.
for her?
I'm gonna get the baby girl second.
Okay.
I'm gonna get the
Okay.
baby girl second. Well, my son, the expectations, he has high expectations of me also.
Hmm.
Like he expects that I will be everything for him. He expects me to be everything for him. He expects me to be able to provide the things that he wants. He expects me to be able to um, be there with the family. He expects me to show him love. He expects me to show him leadership. He expects me to teach him how to do things. He expects a lot of me, and I understand those high expectations. I reciprocate those high expectations also. And so with me, my expectations is um, I need him to be obedient. I need him to be obedient because he has to understand that I do all these things because I do love you and I love you, and these are in your best interests. And when he deviates from the obedience, then for him and I, because he's extremely cerebral, I have to take the time to sit there and talk with, like anybody tell you, Mike, I don't believe in spankings. So we have to have an intellectual conversation on where we falling short at, right? We have to really stop and think it through because he lives in his head all the time. So we're gonna talk, we're gonna think it through all of that type of stuff. Well, my daughter, on the other hand, I'm not saying that we're not going to get to that point where we're having those types of in-depth conversations about things like that, because we very well might be. I just love her where she's at right now, and so with where she's at right now, it's just a different approach that I take with her. It's almost like a feeling. I feel like it's fair. I feel like it's fair because
But it's not because she a girl, it's because who she is.
yeah, it's
All
based
right,
off.
so I'm saying, so if she uh was the girl version of your son, then you would treat her like you treat your son. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, I
Because
think so.
I'm pretty sure, like, I just want to see what in that conversation you said about your son is different from your daughter. You said you
Oh,
had high
so, yeah,
expectation, and they had
there's
high
nothing.
expectation for you.
It's the
So
same
I
same
mean,
thing. That part doesn't change. That part doesn't
yeah,
change. There's a
all
high,
of that
the
stuff.
expectations have, but there is a different way that I approach her than the way that I approach him because I feel
I
like
would
we give
agree with
them what
that.
they need.
I
Because
agree with that.
with her, with her, it's more of an emotional thing. With her, she gets upset. She gets upset when she gets upset when if she thinks I'm disappointed.
Hmm.
Like the thought that she disappointed me is punishment enough. We don't even, even talking about it is uncomfortable for her.
Hmm.
No matter what it is, you know. With my son, it's one of those things where let me explain why we are where we are. This is why
Mhm.
we have to go this way. This is why you can't do it this because it's not an emotional thing. It's more of a cerebral thing. It's so I think it's fair. That is with me. I think it's fair that I
It might
handle it.
be, but I'm saying in society, let's say your son would see that. He might not think of it as fair. And
Okay,
then
well,
that'll be a negative effect because he could see it as unfair. He'd be like, my sister get away with stuff, and I'm pretty sure most kids go through that. You ain't as hard on that person, and it's going to play out different. It might play out in a good way because maybe the hardest, but then it might play off in a negative way to the other. You get what I'm saying? Like
hmm
they might think they can get away with stuff like that. It's but I don't know, man. At the end of the day, I would agree. At the end of the day, we do the best we can as parents, try to be as fair as possible. But
yeah,
like I said, getting back to the core of the thing, I don't think fair is an actual thing. I think you could try and be as fair as possible, but it's just not possible.
yeah.
It's just
Okay.
not possible. So I mean,
Whew, that was a tough one. You gonna take since I took that hard one. You gonna take a hard one here, man.
uh,
Here goes a hard one you got to take. All right. So what about fairness in like our relationships, marriage, girlfriends, all
oh
that? Because
no,
nah,
it's
that's
not. It's not fair. It's not fair. Not fair at all. And it's not fair because the expectation of society is different upon man and upon a woman. And and when I say not fair, I don't want a woman to think I'm saying that it's unfairly towards us. I think both sides are treated unfairly in several areas. I think emotionally, like people caring about a man is men are treated unfairly in that zone. I think women are treated unfairly in what I'm saying, in the respect thing, like in a respectful field or something like that. Trusting a woman can do the same thing as like coming through with things. I think that's unfairly treated towards women. I think both sides in a relationship are treated unfairly. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. And I think that's the dynamic of a relationship is trying their best to make sure the other one's treated fairly. And I think that's where love comes in. You have to make sure the other one receives the same amount that you are. But I think both sides are treated unfairly at the end of the day. But love is not, I tell people all the time, I don't believe when you with your significant other, I never look at it as though all life is going to be perfect. So I definitely, I never, I don't even think I chase perfection in my relationships. I don't think in my relationship with my wife, I don't think we chase perfection. At the end of the day, we try to make this thing work and keep loving each other through it all. At the end of the day, relationships not going to be perfect, and nor should they be. If I would, I could not be with somebody that agreed with me all the time. It's an impossible thing. Our relationship worked because we disagree and we stay together through our disagreement and build each other up. If I had somebody like me that, what I'm saying, push my bad decisions, I gotta have somebody to argue against those things and try to find out and learn from them and pick up. I think that's the dynamic of a relationship. That at the end of the day, it's not about fairness. Nor a relationship shouldn't be self-centered at all. I should not think about myself when it comes to things. I should think about my wife. But oftentimes I do. You gotta have me time. So it's I don't know. Relationships are very, very you said the children were tough. I think relationships are much tough.
oh no,
I
you
think
gonna
it's much tough.
oh look, man, you let me have it on left. So you gotta eat this
But
one,
I
man. That's
do think
fair is fair.
I think the opposite roles are different but equal fair. Nah, I think because of the roles, I think the roles play out different, making it unfair. So let's say, all right, I don't know what role my fair, right? Fair. All right, let's talk about fair. I'm the parent in the relationship. I'm that no parent. Every parent in here knows that person. I have to be the parent that does the discipline. So that comes with that. I'm also the parent that always is not the fun parent. I'm always the parent. They don't want to ask nothing. They don't want to come. Don't want to talk to him. They go to mom. But in fairness, in fairness, the mother gets upset. Why you don't ask your daddy? Why you don't ask your dad? Because I'm the disciplinary parent. They don't want. They know what I'm gonna say. I'm just. That's the way it is. It's. I think at the end of the day, I'm looked at as the mean parent right now. But at the end of the day, I think my kids will understand my reasons behind it. But that's what I'm saying. It's not fair, but that's still the role. That's still the role I play. I fit that role. So I don't think it's meant to be fair. One or the other, we have to do it. Somebody got to do it. Whoever can do it, does it.
Mm, hmm. These some good
Is it
comments in
fair
here.
for her to cook every day? No, it's not. It's not because fairness would be him to go out and take a culinary class and learn how to cook equally. He can go out there, put the same work in, and cook equally. You know what I'm saying? That would be fair,
Mm,
you know? But I learned I have that side of the relationship too. I cook. I just cook before I got on the podcast. Didn't eat. Haven't ate yet. I cooked so my wife can have some food. Came back here, shot the podcast. I eat later. That's not fair.
mm.
But you know, it's the
All
way
right.
things go. I don't think relationships are fair. I don't think anything is fair, but relationships definitely not fair. Nor do they supposed to be.
Hey, I appreciate that, Kevin. All right, so I need to go set up for my. I need to sign up for my culinary class.
Mm.
I'm gonna need Tiff to go hit. I'm gonna
Fair
sign
does
her.
not mean same.
Yeah,
Fair does not
I'm
mean
if
same.
I got to sign up for the culinary class, I'm gonna have to sign up Tiff for the gym so she can carry all these groceries in. It's equal and opposite. Like we share the responsibilities of the house.
Okay.
It's
I
fair.
would agree with that.
We share it. That's fair.
Do you think the responsibility are equal on both sides? That's what I'm saying. Like, all right, so let's
I,
say somebody
it's the pursuit
that's
of it though. It's the
yeah,
pursuit of
all
it.
right. Yeah, I agree.
We are
I agree with
definitely in
that.
the we are definitely in the pursuit of it because yeah, if something if she feels like it's unfair and we need to fix it, like we'll talk about it and then we fix it. Like some things are unintentional fair. Now if I am intentional about being unfair, then that's not good. But like if I don't notice that it's unfair and you bring it to me, then let's be in the pursuit of fairness. All right, now moving on to the next one, right? Hold up, we're at the halfway mark. Let's pull these comments up. Let's pull
Yeah,
these
let's
comments.
go through this. All right. Starting from the top. Started from the top. After the hash. What Tawana said, you get out what you put in, the definition of fairness, all of that inconsistency. Tiff says acting fairly towards others, keeping the same moral or guidelines or expectations when making decisions for and about different groups. The way everyone dies is not fair. I would agree. The way that everybody dies is not fair. But what I said was death is fair. Everybody does die. I don't think everybody dies the same way is fair, but everybody dying is fair. Everybody does die. To the first, what I'm saying, livable human being throughout society, then to be all right for him. But nah, it's not. Life, death is fair. Using sports as an example, fairness is expected even though someone will lose and someone will win. I don't think it's fair because I don't think like Damian Lillard is fair that he's on a trash team. Now, he doesn't have the same criteria, so he would lose. I don't think fairness in sports neither. I think some people benefit more than others in sports. I think if you have a team facility that has certain sports medicine and stuff like that, I don't think it's fairness at all. But I think all of that goes together to compete. Yeah. So I think teams compete, but it's not fair for the players.
Yeah,
You
that
could be a
Warriors
good
team,
player and not win.
that Warriors team with KD was not fair.
No, I wouldn't say they were fair. But I don't think it's fair that Steph Curry is the best player and you know what I'm saying, and he don't win every year. So fair can be creating combinations where needed. Yeah, but how do you extend those combinations? Who determines what combinations are needed? That person will lean to his biases and lean to it. It's just so great. Like at the end of the day, let's say you would pick, Hamp would pick where the use of combinations are needed. his accommodations would be unfair to somebody else. It's 300. It's other people in the world. At the end of the day, he's going to lean towards somebody, but his accommodations only going to lean to. That's why I'm saying you'll never be in a situation where it's not unfair to somebody else. The children who the bar is set low for lose in the long run. Yeah, I agree with that. I think I think at the end of the day we gotta remain tough on both kids. And that's what I was getting at too, Ham. I think your son's gonna benefit from your toughness. I think you should be tough on your daughter too. In different areas though. Not as mm,
Hmm.
I think daughters need toughness too. I think we underestimate daughters. You know what I'm saying? But it works out in two-parent households though, because Tiff would be hard on her daughter than the son, and that's the way it worked out with me. My mother was easier on me, but my father was hard on me, so it does work out. That's why I do agree that two-parent. I think one has to be the sour and one has to be the sweet. You know,
Hmm. Yeah, it typically works like that.
I agree, Hamp. The goal should be fairness. Yep.
All right. So, hold on. All right. So let's go ahead with this next one, right? I'm
All
gonna talk
right.
about. I'm gonna go ahead and let you. I'm gonna give you the alley oop here. I'm gonna let you pick the next one. We're gonna go fairness in society, or you want to talk about fairness at these jobs? Which one you
Good
gonna
jobs. Oh my God.
pick? Jobs. You ready for
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Here goes the boom, man. We've been agreeing too much. Here goes the boom.
I'm just gonna agree with you, man. I'm gonna
Okay.
surprise you on this
Okay. All right. And so I need you to get out of the federal work and I need you to get into the private side. All right. I need you to get your
one.
mind into the private side. I don't want to hear nothing about the federal side. Because the
Uh-huh.
federal side, whether you agree with it or not, is a pretty socialist construct. But
Mhm.
we're going to get into the private side.
Mhm.
All right. Is it fair in the private side that the margins are so screwed, they're so thrown off that an employee can make an extremely low amount, and at the head, the margins are so high.
Mm. I think how see we disagree. I think workplace should be fair, but your fairness is tilted towards to pay. I think people should get paid the amount of work they do. I think
Mm,
that's what's fair. At the end of the day, if somebody has a job in the company that's more valuable than
mm,
somebody in. I don't think the person that sweeps should get paid as the same thing as the person that is fair to the person that runs the company. I don't think
got it.
that's fair.
Got it.
So I think the pay should equate to what you put in
Okay.
always, to what you bring to the table. Whatever you bring, that's what you should be pay that's what's fair. I think when we watched the video, the first one was what I would consider. If I paid $6, I should get 60%. If you paid $4, you should get 40%.
Mm,
And depending on how that plays out, time, risk, all these things are assessed into it. So I would add that in. You get out what you put in is the fairness.
all right, here we go. This scenario, this story time with Hamp here. We got story time with Hamp. So here
Mm-hmm.
we go. All right, Corey, you and I decide that we are going to create a landscape business. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, we got to put our resources together because we ain't really got a whole lot going on. We got to cut the grass itself. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't hire employees. We just starting out, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So we running this landscape company, right? And we start to get so many clients that you and I probably need to hire an employee because we can't keep cutting all these yards because we have more clients now than we can actually cut. So we decide to hire an employee.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And that's going so well that that employee's so good and we're all so good together. We decide to hire another employee and another employee, and another employee. And then we get to the crossroads that all companies get to when they're getting up the scale. We come to a point where we have to decide what do we do about these taxes? All right. We got three things that we can do here. We can pay those employees more, right? We can pay these employees more so we have less tax liability. We can expand the company and hire more employees to do so. Which option should we choose, Corey?
Expand the company.
Okay, so we didn't expand the company. So we're doing the same thing. We hired more employees and more employees and more employees, and we get to this crossroads again, where we're making so much cash, and the taxes is killing us. We got to make a decision. We got to
Is
make a
this an
decision.
actual? It's ways.
No,
You know,
I'm
it's
asking you a
ways to
question.
get past taxes. There's
Okay,
ways to
so
get
so
past taxes.
so what I'm saying is we're at a point now. Do we pay the employees more, or do we expand the company some more?
Just expand the company.
All right, so now we're doing this again, and we do this into infinity.
Mhm.
We do this. We do this until we become Amazon.
It's different for me. See, you saying pay the point. At the end of the day, I'm looking at the end of the day, I'm hiring more people and getting more people jobs. So that's a benefit towards people. You can also say, yeah, I could pay those that one or two worker and help them out tremendously. Or I can try to bring more people in to provide more jobs for more people.
And
So
make
what's
more
the
money.
benefit there? Yeah, you can
So
say make more money. I'm gonna increase wages regardless. Like why to get more people to come to the job, you will
that
have to
is,
increase wages.
and see, I don't know. I don't know that if there's a term to this because I just thought this up earlier when we were talking, right?
Mhm. I
But
don't think it's not a position where you can hire that many people and not increase wages. You
but
will
what I'm
eventually
saying to
have
you,
to.
what I'm saying to you is where we were, and that's the problem when I say when it comes down to minimum wage, right?
Mhm.
I think minimum wage is not fair.
You think minimum? Which one? Because everybody minimum wage is different in every single state.
Okay, I think
All of them,
mhm, I
every
think
last one.
all minimum wages are unfair because I think that as long as something has a floor, it needs to have a ceiling.
So what you saying?
I'm saying that if there's a minimum wage, there should be a maximum wage.
I'm just saying when you say that, you don't think it's consequences to everything. You would agree
Mm-hmm.
with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's a consequence to putting a cap on how much a person can make?
Do you think it's a consequence for putting a? you
A
think it's a
cap on?
consequence
Do you think it's a
on the floor?
consequence on putting a ceiling? Because we just said that you have to have a goal of fairness. You don't think you have to have a goal of riches and people like that's a driver for people? You don't think success is something that a person attains to be? If you put a cap on how successful I can be, you don't think that's just as dangerous as removing fairness out of a person as a goal of somebody's life? You remove success. You just say this is successful as you can be. That's all you can be. If a person, and this is why I say like in the workplace, once a person get comfortable, it's crazy. And they say this like in sports. They say it like in the NBA. We use the NBA as an example. All right, so NBA players they get a certain amount of money a check, right? Let's say he get $1 million a game. Let's say how many games? Let's say he got an $82 million contract for 1 year. It's 82 games. He make $1 million a game. So he play good that game, he get $1 million. He play bad that game, he get $1 million. Regardless, he keep going. Regardless, if his goal in life was money, what do you think? Does he really have any driving
Corey,
force to be
Corey,
good?
Corey.
I'm just saying that. I might be wrong, but I'm
The
just saying.
NBA has a salary cap.
Hmm.
The NBA contracts have a salary cap also.
Hmm.
There's maxes and there's super maxes.
Hmm.
What are we talking about, Corey? The system works. The system works well.
You
And the reason why the system works well.
You miss my argument. You miss my argument
Okay.
all the time.
No, I get what you're saying.
I'm not talking about. I'm not even talking about the what side. I'm saying yes. I'm saying, but they don't have to be NBA players. They can still make more money than that, right? They can get LeBron James make more than his contract, right? He don't just make his contract.
Yes,
He still make more money there. So
but
you saying that's all he can make?
No, I'm saying is if you ask the question about in the NBA, would they be incentivized to still work hard? Like they have guaranteed contracts that
Mm.
have maximums in them, and they still go out and play
That's
because
not the,
the
but
answer.
you
I get what you're
you're
saying. You said they
conflating
can
it.
go
Yeah,
to
but
have other
you
streams of
you
revenue.
limited you separated my argument from what I was making. I'm not making an argument that you don't have caps on certain things. I'm not even saying that. I'm not even arguing the cap thing. I'm arguing when you put a cap on how successful a person can be. Do you think you could put a cap on it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You should.
absolutely. I think you should,
And you
and
think the same people are coming, you think that's fair?
yeah, and I'm gonna tell you why it's fair, because resources are finite. Like that's a fact. Like it's a fact. If I have the ability to take all the water bottles out of the house, like at some point I got more water bottles than I can even drink. And then I have somebody that is really thirsty out here. If somebody said, "Hey, look, Ryan, like let's stop the water bottles at 1 billion, sir. Like you'll never be able to drink 1 billion, but at least it gives us an opportunity to pass some of these finite resources to other places."
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that is the solution to it. I'm not saying that we should stop at 1 million. Listen, when you where Elon Musk is right now, to where his hobbies are putting things into orbit, like we done gone too far. Like we done gone too far where you got enough
So
disposable
you
cash.
capping off innovation. If that man, like, if you ever hear like Elon Musk speak, you know what his goal in life is? His
Mhm.
goal, his one goal where he said if he could have
To populate the earth
no,
with as many children as possible. I've heard him talk about that.
no, that's not
What's
his
the second?
ultimate goal. He
What's
talked
the
on
other?
it. He said he heavily thinks on getting civilization to another planet because eventually the Earth going to end. Humanity would die right now. If the Earth end, humanity would end. It would
Mm-hmm.
end. And he
Mm-hmm.
said that's a much sad thing. We have to go somewhere else. At the end of the day, our species would cease to exist with this planet. So if
Mm.
that's his goal, you're trying to put it, he works for that goal. He sacrifices everything towards that goal. He built companies to pay for that goal. So you
He
telling me
he
he can
fired
do
sixty
all these
percent. He
things?
fired 60% of his staff, Corey.
You can say that, but if he works his entire life towards a goal, you're going to tell him, no, you can't have that goal.
He said, "Who he taking, Corey?"
It doesn't matter to me. If that man, that's like saying, if I say I want to grow up and do this and I work my life to build it, and you telling me, no, I can't do it.
Nah, he can do it with NASA,
What
just
does it
like the
matter?
rest of us.
It's the
He
same thing.
can, he can go work
It's
for
the same
NASA,
thing. It's
like
the
the
same
rest of
thing.
us.
What does it matter if NASA does it? They got to acquire the money for it. It doesn't matter.
Listen, man. The reason
Just
why
making
this
it
listen,
obtuse.
no, I'm not being obtuse about
Why?
it.
What does it matter if it's NASA or Elon Musk? What's the difference?
This is the difference, Corey. This is the difference. We talk about this Earth dying and this, that, and the third. Okay, you're right. There are things that could happen. Asteroid can hit this thing. Something like that could happen. Who knows? But more likely, it will be the the finite resources that we are using at
Mm.
the rate that we're using, and that'll be the end of the earth. Like that's more than likely what's going to happen. Like it will be more likely his fault as opposed to him being the savior. Like he is more likely to be the reason than to be the savior. That's the facts. Like that is probably the more probable answer. He will probably have done more damage to the earth than he is in his pursuit to get us off the earth. And when I say us, not us, his friends.
It don't matter if that was the case. Even if you want to send a friend. If I became a billionaire and I just wanted to send the people on this podcast to Earth, that's just my prerogative. I don't have to send nobody else. Is it? I want to share it to my friends. You
Hey,
think I owe somebody? What do I owe anybody else in this world? If I built this thing, and at the end of the day, I know people saying the sweepers, they are paid. It ain't like I took it from them. I paid them. If I pay you to do a service, like what do I owe the man that put a roof on my house? Does he need to get some of the if I sold my house, hey, I got to give him a proceed, even though I paid him to put the roof on. He helped What sold this house? This man that built this house, right? And I bought it, right? And I build on the addition to it, and it sells for more. I make it a great house. I owe him some more because
Nah, he got his
like,
equity from the beginning. I get what you're saying. I get what
yeah.
you're saying.
What I'm
I get
saying
what you're
is,
saying.
I when and I think we devaluing building a company. So I do not think workers are more important than investors. I don't think that, because at the end of the day, the company would not be there if the investors weren't there. You need workers. Both of them have values. So let's say if I can put lead in a pencil, right? It's a person that built machines. They invested their time, their money. They went through all the things of setting up the company. They put work in. It ain't like, it's not the same work as manual labor, but it's work all the same. To say Elon Musk didn't put any work into building Tesla is ridiculous. To say he did nothing. None of the design, none of that. He did nothing. It's the same thing as somebody sweeping the floor. It's ridiculous. I guarantee you right now, you know nothing about the designs of the Tesla engine, but you know how to sweep a floor. We all can walk in there tomorrow and sweep a floor. None of us can build a Tesla.
This is America.
That's it.
This is America. Hey, so check this out, right? Now, I ain't gonna say all of us. I can say for myself, ain't nothing worse than working for a company and they say, hey, because we've done so well this year, we want to take y'all bowling. Or they want to take you to a pizza party, or they want to do something like that. And we all have worked jobs where the answer to the, like somebody has said, hey, we want to take you, but at the same time, they're doing that because the company has made so much money and they're giving out profit sharing bonuses and this and the third. They want to offer me to go to a bowling alley or go to the movies. Not even the movies. I ain't never been to movies, but it's always the bowling alley or pizza party. The hell with that pizza party, man. Like that piece of, like, the thought process in it, and that we make it socially acceptable, and we'll sit here and say, well, maybe I don't have the skill set. Maybe I don't have the skill set, or maybe I wasn't the originator of the thought.
Mm-hmm.
However, I have played an integral part in you making of the company doing so well.
That's the reason why they paid you. They
gave me
paid you
pizza
for
party.
your integral part. They gave
No,
you funds. Did you work for free?
Okay.
No, they paid you. And to say I owe you, I wish you didn't work. I would have hired somebody else that say I don't owe you. Go. Matter of fact, if I hired you for a company and you worked for me and I paid you for your services, let's take that person that put the roof on my head and I sold my house and he came here demanding, I would say, I wish you would have said it before I put you on this roof. I would have found somebody else that wouldn't came here. At the end of the day, it's not. I mean, I don't know, man. I said at the end of the day, to say you said it was so much, like it's something small. The person came up with the idea. Like an idea is a big thing. You taking it as something small.
Man,
you didn't come up with it. Right now, if I told you who else came up with Tesla, Tesla is out right now. There's a lot of electric cars out right now. Who else came up with the design? To say that man didn't deserve it.
Okay.
The marketing. Let's take Crocs. Everybody wear Crocs. It's a man that built that company, poured his life into it. For you to come along and doggone make one pair of shoes and think you owe a person, it is weird to me, man.
Hey, Corey, I'm gonna tell you,
if he go back, if he go bankrupt, do you take the risk?
If companies are watching this right now, our email is gonna be flooded with job offers for you. I'm sure they love to hear this. Like, I'm pretty sure they're like, there's really a person out here that really sympathizes with the fact that I'm gonna work him and pay him the least amount that I can.
All I'm saying is fair is fair. Now you can say, okay, it's not fair to us, the majority, but it's not fair to them. If they poor, like at the end of the day, you're saying, okay, let me get the person on the other side. We talked about fairness is not an actual thing. So you want to side it towards the worker. You saying it's fair if the workers get a profit of that. It's okay. You can say that's fair, but it's not fair to them. They don't see it as fair because they're the minority. So the minority is only supposed to go towards the majority. What's fair? So slavery was fair because the majority of people was white. The majority should get it. Fairness. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter about majority or any of those things. Fair is fair. And at the end of the day, I look at it, you should get out what you put in. I think Elon Musk put more into Tesla to the person that sweep at the floor at Tesla. I'm sorry. I just think that's fair. The man came up with the idea, drew the plans. I think that's fair.
Hold up. Hey, you gotta put Kevin's comment up here. You gotta put Kevin's comment up here. All right, so hold on. You gotta go back to the first one. He said Benjamin, and I pardon me, Mister Feliciano. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Benjamin Feliciano discovered the crisp $100 bills near a Florida mall last week. After several hours of debate on whether to keep it, he finally turned it into authorities. When deputies found out that Feliciano walks to his job and holds signs all day, they donated a bite to show their appreciation. Hashtag fair. By the way, it was 20K that he found.
Mm.
I. Hey, Cam, I.
So you
Like,
think fairness, he would have got all that money?
I. Nah.
So let's make it a
Nah.
small thing. All right. So if you drop, let's say if you drop a $20 bill and I pick it up and I keep it, is that fair?
In the definition,
And because this is
it
what I'm
wouldn't.
saying.
In the
Is that fair?
definition, is it fair?
That's
Me
stealing.
getting me
Like, that's
getting what I
stealing.
deserve. Me getting what I deserve. Is that me getting what I deserve? Do I deserve?
No, I'm saying
that
you
much
dropped
deserve?
20. You dropped 20.
I'm saying me getting
And
me
I
getting.
kept it.
Yeah. Do I
Is
deserve to
that
have
fair
some?
to you?
I'm asking. Do I deserve somebody to take $20 away from me? That's really what it comes down to.
All right,
That's what
that go
fairness
to
is.
the
Do I
same
deserve it?
thing. It
Yeah.
goes to the same thing regardless. The 200,000 that he found, somebody, did he find it? Who did it belong to? Is it fair to the person that lost the 200,000? Because at the end of the day, you're assessing somebody else pockets, and this is what I'm saying. Like, this is
I
probably
said I didn't even say
this
all I said was
this,
all right.
this something that explain me better. They play a game where they throw shoes in the middle of the floor. You grab your shoes and then you run, right? You can grab any shoes. And I never understood it because I would go up and grab my own shoes because I never want anybody else's problems. Mine's is mine's. These are my shoes. So you can look at other people's situation throughout life, but yours is yours. You could even say, if I was Elon Musk, I would do this. That's fine. You can do that. Become Elon Musk and do that. But I can't judge Elon Musk because those are not my shoes. They ain't my shoes. I got my shoes, and I'm gonna judge my shoes and what I do. But I can't look at that man's shoes and tell him how to run.
Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and say, hey Kev, I knew that was Florida Man. It sounded like Florida Man from the beginning. I knew it was Florida Man. Florida Man stay cutting up. Hey, the last thing before we get in here, society real quick. Because we're running out of time. So with society,
Now that's wrong.
is
I
it
would say, Tiff, that is wrong. If a company bonus was supposed to be given from based on the company's profit, and they didn't give it, that's wrong. Yeah, that's not fair.
mm, okay.
Yeah, that was established. I would agree with that. It's not the same.
I think when a company do well and they do profit sharing, I think they should share it with people. But anywho, nonetheless,
Mhm.
when it comes to society, right? Society, is it fair? Is it fair? Because I learned something really cool. And I just want to say this. You know, Jokic, what's his salary supposed to be? It's like $48 million. His salary, I think, the only salary is $48 million. Do you know his take home is $24 million per year? Now he ain't even. I mean, I'm not gonna say that he's struggling there, but that's a significant amount that is going out places between his agents, between all types of. And Denver is one of the states that has a flat tax.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter whether you make 48 million or you make work minimum wage, you pay a flat tax. Is Jokic struggling? Excuse me. Is Jokic struggling, do you think, financially? Do you think that he
Mm-mm.
is hurting?
Mm-mm.
That's my point exactly. It
Mm-hmm.
can be done.
I'm not saying they can't.
It can be done. It should be done in the pursuit of fairness.
Yeah.
In the
Now you
pursuit of
added two things. You added two things. It can't be. It can be done. I would agree. It should be done. I wouldn't agree. That's it.
okay.
Just because you can do something don't mean you should do something. You can go out there and jump off the bridge right now. You can do it. And you shouldn't do it. I will pray that you didn't do it.
Hmm.
But again, man, it's crazy about the Elon Musk junk. You ever hear the story about why he don't own a house?
He said why he doesn't own a house.
Yeah,
I've
he
heard it said.
he sleeps at Tesla, at the building, the corporation,
Yeah, he used to. His dad said he used to live in a place.
like a $45,000 house.
Yeah,
And then he moved to Tesla. He don't own a home.
yeah. And when people find out he was the reason why he moved to Tesla, I'm gonna tell you this.
Stayed there for a minute, years.
Yeah, but I don't know the why into it. But when his dad actually dropped the fact that he was living in some, and I think it wasn't 45,000. It was like some 2 bedroom house.
It's like
But it
fifty
was
thousand dollars, like
it
fifty
was
thousand
some
dollars,
two
less
bedroom
than that,
house.
somewhat.
Yeah. The reason why he ended up leaving that place and moving to Tesla, it wasn't for taxes.
Mm-mm.
It was because of safety. When he started hearing people saying that it's not safe for you to live in places like that, something could happen to you. This is the thing about
So
life.
who you hear this explanation from? Him himself, because he doesn't use this explanation. So you don't believe him. You believe somebody else. Who you believe?
Okay, I'm gonna believe logic.
That's what
Logic
I'm
makes sense.
saying. Like
I believe
logic.
logic. I believe
So
logic.
you don't believe the man. You just believe.
Listen, no. Listen, listen. I don't know what his reason. I'm saying before when he was living in the 45,000, the $50,000 house, right? When he was living in the house, I think that I do believe that at some point somebody had a conversation with him
Mm-hmm.
about the same way somebody had a conversation with Kanye when
Mm-hmm.
Kanye was just walking the streets and said, "Hey, look, man, there's a lot of people that are poor that don't have a lot of things, and you represent a lot of things. Probably ain't safe for you just to be living in a regular neighborhood, living in this little house." And he realized it wasn't safe because one thing in that the hierarchy of needs says is safety is one of those things you got to have in order for you to do stuff like I don't know, put rockets into space. Like in order for you to do high level thinking, you need to at least have your food, shelter, and safety taken care of. But I would love to hear what his reason was to why he doesn't own
We hear it off
mansions
here.
anymore.
He never
What is,
owned mansions.
I'm asking
Never
you.
owned a mansion.
Okay, what is his reason? What is his
We'll
reason?
break it down afterward.
Okay,
I want you to hear it from his mouth. I don't want to give you no what's the name? We'll play it off air. But no, I don't want to, what I'm saying. I can give you the gist, but it might be off here and there. So we'll listen to it. But yeah, nah, he don't really have those kind of desires. Like if you listen to, have you ever listened to Elon Musk talk?
yeah,
Like a weird guy. Like he's not no, what I'm saying? He's not like normal people, I would say. I'd be different if I had this kind of money.
yeah.
Probably be different.
I'm gonna tell you, don't. I'm gonna tell you the whole house thing. I initially when I first heard it, and I heard it years ago. Initially, I was like, wow, that
And
sounds
he never
crazy.
told people. He never
Yeah, I thought
told
it was
people. They
crazy.
found out. He
Yeah,
never told anybody.
yeah, but I'm gonna tell you what's incredible though. He still be on yachts all the time though.
You
So no
see him
matter,
on that yacht. You see
yeah,
him on the yacht.
yeah,
What do he look
just
like?
that my wall.
Yeah. Why you think he look like that?
Cause he don't go outside.
He don't go outside. He works all the time, bro.
Yeah,
He like
yeah,
literally works
yeah. So,
all the time.
but still, he be on yachts. He still got stuff like that. But so it's not a modest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but again, for the society thing, the last thing we will say because we got about 5 more minutes. But when it comes down to when it comes out to homeless people, like the homelessness that we have in America, the homelessness makes me sad in real life. I legitimately get sad about homelessness. Like if I watch a video and it has homeless people in it, it makes me sad. It makes me angry. Like, and I don't want to watch the video. I don't care what it is. It could be people feeding the homeless. It's the whole thought.
You ever
The whole
looked into
concept.
like the light homeless? You ever looked into it? Like the people that try to help homelessness and what they say about it,
Yeah,
the dilemmas of it,
yeah,
the
I
people
do
that's
know.
out there on the front ground,
Yeah, the dilemma. Yeah, I know a lot of
like
them.
feed the homeless. Cause we send water at my church to. We hear about
Yeah,
these people. We talk about these people all the time. It's a sad thing. It's really
yeah, I
tough.
know.
There's a lot of
I know.
different dynamics
So
to it.
yeah, I
It's not
know.
as easy as people
Some
think it
people say
is to carry
some
homeless.
people say that these people want to live like that.
I don't say want to. Some people do not. Some people have problems. Some people got mental health problems. Number one, you know what I'm saying. And certain people just don't want, cannot be in the house. It depends on whether you say what do you classify as want. If they're happy there, if they happy there, and I know it's strange for us to look at it because we like, man, who would want to be homeless? But if they're happy there, and you're looking at your life as though it's something better, it's not to them.
Yeah,
They don't look at your life as something better. And I,
yeah,
I don't even say it is. I mean, it's what they consider life. I wouldn't consider it life, but for me to put my subjective reality on them and
yeah,
look at theirs, it's like, nah, they doing the same thing.
yeah. I'm gonna say fairness and just my opinion on fairness is this: in a world with
But I
so
do think
much,
you help them though.
in a world with so much, I think that no person should have to be hungry. I don't think that no person should have to not have safety, to not have shelter. I think that as we evolve as human beings, I think that we will figure that out.
Every single person in the world,
Should not have to be hungry.
world hunger would not be a thing. World hunger.
Hmm.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, I think that every person should have.
Every single person in the world, not just America, the world.
I think in the world, I think every single person should have shelter. And should have food.
You think human beings can do that?
Listen, I ain't saying they can.
Oh.
I'm saying in the future. In the future,
You think in the future,
what?
human being,
We said, do I think humans can do it? I don't know whether to be artificial intelligence. I don't know what it. At
maybe
some
so
point,
artificial.
but at some point, we will figure this thing out, and we will say that every single human being
Mhm.
should have shelter and
You
food.
got high hopes for
We go, we go.
society, man.
We,
You got
no,
high
I mean,
hopes
because
for society.
I
We
ain't saying
live
they
in a
got to be.
different world.
I ain't saying they got to be. It ain't got to be the high. It ain't got to be the best food. It ain't got to be steak. It ain't got to be this. It ain't. But I am telling you, I'm telling you, like, because you know what the crazy part about it is, we can leave a person out there on the
Oh, you think
street.
somebody gonna invent something?
Oh, listen, I'm gonna tell you, because what's gonna end up happening is people are gonna realize how foolish it is. The concept that you can be on the street and you can be hungry, right?
Mm.
And we would expect them to accept that, right?
No.
But hear me out. And if they don't accept that, and say they do something criminal to fix that problem, then we will give them shelter and we will give them food. And so, and right now you're incentivized. You're incentivized. When you really stop and think about it, it's really a stupid concept that if I steal something and get caught, if I steal something, I can eat for a day. If I get caught, I can eat for a month. Like that's a crazy
I'm gonna ask you.
concept.
I just want to ask you one question.
It's a
Like,
crazy
if you
concept.
find, let's say you find one, because you might not believe there's no homeless person that want to be homeless, but let's say you end up finding one homeless person that do not want to live in the house. They like what they're doing. They're happy with it. Do you stop them?
Oh, okay. So what I'm saying to you, Corey, I said every single person should have access to shelter and to have access to food.
Mm,
If they choose not to have, if they choose to
okay.
stay outside, that is totally fine.
Okay. Okay.
If
So
they
you don't
choose,
think
if
you
they
don't want to
choose,
get rid of homeless?
if
Yeah.
they just, if they choose to go inside and take a shower and then go and get a meal and go back outside, then go do that. But what I'm saying is, we have
Mm,
enough resources for every single person to have shelter and have food. We have that. We have that ability.
mm.
There you go. Hey, so what you got, man? Let's close this thing out, bro.
I got nothing, man. Agree with y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for being here, man. For real, we need to probably do an episode on homelessness. I think, hey, like I said, with most things, it's a dilemma that's worth discussing. It's a tough one. It's not as easy as people might think it is. I mean, definitely when you look into it, I used to think it was easy. When I looked into it and looked at the pursuits to change it, and how many people have poured into this thing, and it's constantly growing, it's constantly getting wider. It is a problem in our society, and maybe it's something that we need to talk about. We can definitely dive into that too.
Man, you know what? That'd be pretty cool, man. You want to do something? Well, let's do that episode. We'll figure that out, and I think we should. I think we should actually feed some people, man. Should feed some people.
Yeah, we can do that. Definitely. I told you we send stuff up to Richmond and everything.
Yeah,
Pay,
yeah.
send probably like
But
5,000 water bottles. I think she called it out. 5,000 water bottles. 5,000. It's a lot of stuff. There's a couple things we do. Donate it, take it to the church, and then they send it up there. Or we can just send the money and they'll pay it. But you can send the water bottles, a case of water, stuff like that. Yeah.
hmm. Okay. All right. Well, figure that out, man. All right. But so, hey, it's on you, bro. Let's
Like I
close out.
said, man, thank y'all for tuning in, man. Thank y'all for being here with us, man. Love y'all.
Oh man. All right. So again, this is your first time on the episode. I am Hemp. And if you haven't had the opportunity to hit that thumbs up, I really would appreciate it if you would hit that thumbs up. If you haven't had the opportunity to hit the subscribe button, please hit the subscribe button. Um, and if you haven't had the opportunity to share it, please share it. Um, the last thing, love yours.